A very happy morning, ladies and gentlemen. I know that all of you are very eager and enthusiastic to explore a new topic today. Welcome to the session. BA History Program, second semester, 25th session. I am Sudhaji, Assistant Professor, Department of History, GFGC, Ripanpet. You know that history is a galaxy of great personalities. You can notice on the screen a portrait of one such great person. He was a founder of a great dynasty in the 16th century after the Delhi Sultanate. Can you name the dynasty? Shall I give you a clue? Shall I? Okay. The name of the dynasty is a corrupt form of Mongols, of Mongolia. Can you now guess? Yes, your answer is right. It is the Mughal dynasty. The person whom you are noticing on the screen is the founder of Mughal dynasty, Babur. Today, in our session, let us learn about introduction to Mughal dynasty. Students have learnt about socio-religious conditions of medieval India. They knew about turmoils created by the fanatic rulers of Delhi Sultanate. Learning objectives: to enable the students to know about origin of Mughals and socio-economic conditions of India on the eve of Babur's invasion, to develop the skill to locate the native places of Mughals in the outline map of Asia. Learning outcomes of today's session: students will recall the ancestors of Babur. They will also appreciate Babur for emerging as an independent ruler in a very young age. To begin with, Mughal Empire was founded by Babur in 1526 by defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the First Battle of Panipat. It was one of the largest centralized states known in the modern world history. By the late 1600s, they had supreme political authority nearly over 150 million people in the Indian subcontinent. Let's move on to the next clipping where we can have a glance about their capitals, official language, and the forms of government they practiced. First of all, capitals. During the Mughal period, they kept on changing their capital city. Among them, the first one, Agra, followed by it Fatehpur Sikri, then Lahore, which is in present Pakistan, then Shahjahanabad, the present capital city of India, Delhi. You have now learned about the capitals of Mughals. I would like to give an assignment. Try to locate these capitals of Mughals on the outline map of India. Official language. Which was their official language? It was Persian. Can you define which can be called as the official language? Official language is also called state language, which is used by the government to run the administration. In India, which is the present official language of our country? Yes, you are right. It's Hindi. Hindi was adopted as the official language of India with Devanagari script by the Constituent Assembly on 14th September 1949, September 14th. Since 1953, we have been observing, celebrating Hindi Divas on September 15th, that means 14th of September every year. Our Indian official languages also kept on changing periodically. Let us know that for your kind information. During Maurya's official language was Magadhi Prakrit. During Gupta's period it was Sanskrit. During Mughals period, as you know pretty well, that Persian was their official language. During Europeans period, they made English as official language of India. and after independence, Hindi has become our official language. You can make a chart of different countries and their official language as a part of your assignment. Now let's move on to the forms of government. The government of Mughal dynasty was absolute monarchy. What do you mean by monarchical form of government? It is a form of government in which a person is the head of the state for lifetime or until abdication. In Mughal government, emperor was the head of the government. He was the fountain of all powers. Though it was an absolute monarchical form of government, it was a unitary state with federal structure as well. It means where besides the central government, provincial government also shared sovereignty with the central government and have final jurisdiction over a broad range of policy areas. Between 1719 to 1857, the form of the government of Mughals changed into oligarchical form. It is a form of government where a small group of nobles and kings had control over the government. This is how their forms of government kept on changing periodically. Now let us learn about the meaning of the word Mughal. It's really quite interesting. The term Mughal is a it is not corruption, it's corrupt form of the word Mongol, the Central Asian tribe. It literally means Mongolian. Mughals were Muslim dynasty of Turkic and Mongol origin, ruled India from early 16th to the mid 18th century. The Mughals originated in Central Asia and were descended from the Mongol ruler Chinggis Khan and Timur, the great conqueror of Asia. Now let us focus on the conditions of India on the eve of Babur's invasion. India was divided among varying states. There was no paramount power. Delhi Sultanate was not strong. The Afghan nobles were hostile to Ibrahim Lodi. The nobles were discontented as Ibrahim Lodi was very cruel towards Daulat Khan, the governor of Punjab. You can raise a question on what evidence we can assess India's condition. As you know well that history is not a cock and bull story. It has been constructed on authentic sources such as archaeological sources and literary sources. To know about India's condition on the eve of Babur's invasion, we have an important literary source, that is Tujki Babari, also called Baburnama. The autobiography of Babur in Turki language is mother tongue. It is an important historical document, a significant source material to know about the Indian conditions on the eve of Babur's invasion. It is the most authentic source as well to know about medieval India. Besides some political conditions, events he has thrown ample light on the social, cultural, and natural conditions of India. Tujiki Babari was translated in different languages in different course of time, such as Persian, English, French. English translation of Baburnama by Mrs. A.S. Beveridge, who has translated it in 1905, is more authentic. You can study for more information about Babur, his life and achievements. We can throw light on the social and economic condition of India based on the information given by Babur in his autobiography. According to Lane Poll, if ever there were a case when the testimony of a single historical document, unsupported by other evidence, should be accepted as sufficient proof. It is the case with Babur's memories. No reader of this prince of autobiographies can doubt his honesty or his competence as witness and chronicler. Such is the importance of Babar Nama. So we can have a authentic information about our India's condition on the eve of Babur's invasion. Daulat Khan declared his independence. He, along with Alam Khan, he also invited Babur to attack India. Rana Sangha of Mewar, aspiring to capture the throne of Delhi and Agra, also invited Babur to attack India. This shows the unity, the lack of unity among the Indians and the longing for power. Bengal, Jaunpur, Gujarat, Malwa, Sindh, Kashmir have also become independent. Now let us throw light on the social condition. Indian society was divided into two classes as Hindu and Muslims. Indian society was suffering from social evils like casteism, sati system, superstitious beliefs. Muslims were engaged in gambling, drinking. They also practiced parda system. Polygamy was there. Hindus were not appointed to the higher posts. They had to pay heavy taxes and jizya, a tax imposed on the non-Muslims. Socially, India was passing through a period of transition when Babur was about to attack India. Bhakti movement stressed the need to be united Hindu Muslims for the first time in our history started an age of greater understanding between two communities. The presence of Sufi mystics in Islam supplemented the work of the reformers of the Bhakti cult. Urdu language became the medium of intercourse between the Turco-Afghan rulers and the native people. Now let's move on to economic condition. The policy of Delhi Sultanates reduced the cultivators to poverty. It impoverished the Hindus in such a way that they could not even think of revolt against the Delhi Sultans. India was rich, but Indians were poor because of the atrocities of the sultans. In spite of great drainage of its wealth by foreign invaders and plunderers, India was quite rich, which attracted the attention of Babur. There was a brisk internal trade. Sea, Seaborne commerce with Malaya, China, and other countries of the Pacific Ocean also was going on. Industries such as cotton, woolen, silk, sugar, metal, and paper were also flourishing. In short, our country was so prosperous and wealthy that, in spite of its hot climate and wild winds during summer, it commended itself to the fastidious Babur. By seeing the prosperity and economic condition, Babur has written in his diary that the chief excellence of Hindustan is the amount of gold coined and uncoined which may be found there. All the conditions of North India was in favor of Babur to invade our country. To summarize, for nearly 170 years, that's between 1556 to 1719, Mughals remained a dynamic centralized, complex organization. Mughal Empire was created and sustained by military warfare. Still, they did not suppress the culture and people of India, but balanced them by establishing new administrative practices, leading to efficient, centralized, and standardized rule. Before the end of the session, let us have a quick recapitulation of the main points what we have learned. Origin and ancestors of Mughals, different capitals, official languages, the type of government of Mughals, the conditions of India on the eve of Babur's invasion, the Indian rulers who invited Babur to attack India. The books which I have referred to prepare my talk are History of Medieval India by S.P. Sharma, Medieval History of India by J.C. Agarwal, History of Medieval India by L.P. Sharma, Advanced Study in the History of Medieval India. I hope all of you have enjoyed my class. Thank you, one and all.